Okay, I've been avoiding, dramas for obvious reasons. I'm not Coca TV, who farms dramas, but this is related to our community of Clash of the Elite. You know me as someone who actually makes Clash of the Elite as one of my main contents of this YouTube channel. Obviously, I do anime related stuff, but Clash of the Elite is like one of my most, if not the most top priority series that I have to do on my channel. This drama has been on my feed for like recently, and it's actually beyond ridiculous how this got out of hand and it has reached the mangaka artist of Clash of the Elite Year 2 second stage. TLDR, they complained about the one panel of Sudo and Suzune in the manga of Clash of the Elite Year 2 second stage, and it was just Sudo fantasizing about him and Suzune being together. Totally normal, very tame, right? Like there's nothing to worry about. It's just a boy who actually dreams about, having a very wholesome love life with Suzune, when he gets together with her, like a what if scenario. We've all been there, like I have done it as well, honestly speaking, because obviously I have a huge crush on that person. And to show you the manga panel, it's this. Basically, very tame, right? Now, with my TLDR, this isn't in the light novel, alright? This illustration or this entire sequence of events isn't in the light novel. This is completely original, created by the mangaka artist. This is completely pure creativity, and he or she, from what I know, my knowledge is that the mangaka is a girl. So yeah, and if you've seen her past works, it's erotica, and yeah, that's why I'm actually stunned to know that, and seeing the art, the visuals and the illustrations of the manga, it's so stunning. That's what they complained about, and you know what these fans complained about? Like there's another community in the Clash of the Elite community because shipping wars, best girl wars, etc. Like there's those shenanigans everywhere, just like in Oshinoko Kana versus Akane versus Ruby, whatever. Yeah, we got Suzune fans complaining. Most likely they are girls, I think. All right. As someone who has been supporting the series legally, buying the merch officially legally, and it's something that I've always done ever since I've been a huge fan of the series back in the COVID days, because I had nothing to do, and it got me hooked. The anime got me hooked that I had to buy the light novels. So turns out it was a huge success, and it's not stopping me for buying the original source. For the manga though, I love the manga Year 2, especially the first art, all right? Like the first art is honestly really beautiful, but if you were to ask me, because I told this in the chat on my live stream when I was reading the manga, I think I prefer this new art because it has this sort of flair that's actually really good. It's really pretty. This is the scene that they complained about, right? So very tame, as you can see. It's just adding more comedy bits of Sudo, and yeah, very much in character of Sudo. Sudo has matured, as we all know it, but obviously he is still a guy who fantasizes normally, with the girl he likes, So yeah, and these so-called fans, I'm gonna call them deranged fans. I'm not gonna show you everything, but I screenshotted them. All right, we have Suzune's lover, as you can see here, using the old art of the Year 2 manga, the first stage, and this is the old artist's work, and it says using work as an excuse to indulge in your own twisted fetishes is truly vulgar.
What?
And then we also have, when you're creating something, how about considering the fans' boundaries at least a little? That's what this person said.
Brother, ugh.
And then we have another one. All right, I'm gonna show it on my computer. but I don't think I can go back to this one because obviously this person has been reposting about the hate of the artist and posting about Suzune. That's it. This person retweeted or reposted from a Chinese fan that says this person regrets buying the acrylic stand merchandise drawn by Koma, who is the mangaka artist of Clash of the Elite Year 2 second stage, Komada Hachi, because someone who tampers with the original plot and doesn't give a damn about the characters or the fans doesn't deserve my support. For an artist with no bottom line like her, if she dares to create an original scene this time of pseudo fantasizing about a date with an exposed outfit Suzune next time, she'll dare to create an original scene of pseudo fantasizing about going to bed with Suzune if the official side still wants to make money. Please stop this behavior as soon as possible. And also tagged the official account of Clash of the Elite, Youkoso, Jitsuryoku Shijou Shugi no教室へ Youkoso Zitsu. So,
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
obviously, that was heard by the author herself. We have Komada Hachi, who responded by just saying this. There are lines you just shouldn't cross, you know? Many people, myself included, thought that this is about the drama surrounding about Suzune and Sudo. That one manga panel. That's it. Alright? It's nothing to be worried about. It's just Suzune in a bikini, in a swimsuit, going out on a date. And if you guys remember, the timeline of Volume 2 is that it's summer. Alright? It's summer. So, Sudo thought of going to the beach, going to the pool, and, you know, having a date. Having a really lovely date. Some Suzune fans, deranged fans, did say it's an NTR, which, by the way, NTR means cheating. And mind you, Suzune doesn't even have a boyfriend. Neither does Sudo. He doesn't have a girlfriend. So both of them are single. This is a spoiler for the anime viewers. So yeah, if you're just here for the drama, then that's the drama, right? But I'm just gonna say, what happened in the later volumes is that Suzune rejected Sudo in a very respectful way. All right, and I love that about Suzune. Like, she's grown so much, and she doesn't even know what love is. That's what she said. She's, you know, now trying or considering what Sudo's feelings are towards her. You know, that's why I really love her for that. Yeah, that's why she's. If you know me, if you've been watching me for years now, and if you've been on my stream with my Yap session, I did say that I love Suzune. Suzune Horikita is now in my top 3, by the way. She is my top 3 character in Clash of the Elite, excluding, obviously, Ayanokouji. That's how much I love Suzune. We got, you know, these Suzune fans, deranged fans, and I'm pretty sure they are girls complaining that Suzune has a bikini. Now, I feel like, you know, these are the so-called tourists who are not really familiar with anime tropes, manga tropes, where bikini, swimsuit, beach episode are typical. You know, if you see the replies here, we got many fans replying to Sensei. Really, really good comments. But I like your drawing style. You've captured Horikita's beauty well. The problem is, don't throw stones in your path. They'll trip you up. Follow the original novel. Don't make weird ideas. Don't sway opinions and cause public anger. You'll get hurt. That right there is actually ridiculous. Starting to get inconsistent is including scenes that aren't in the novel. Among the many characters, he is mixed up, or she's mixed up, parts of Horikita that aren't there. You can find out for yourself. So that is actually beyond retarded, alright? Anyway, why are you adding things that the author Kinagasa didn't write? You fucking idiot. So yeah, these are the extremists that are fans of the series, and yeah, I'm not gonna show you much more of it because there's actually a lot of it. So yeah, you can just check it out yourself. Go ego surf on this. So yeah, you can see the glazing of Susan and the hate on Susan, or the mangaka and the author. Now the author's catching strays, and then Yeah, as you can see here, yep, slandering, hating. So, yay. And then you have this as well, reposting. If the manga artist hadn't acted like a Kurizawa fan and a Kyoke supporter, I'm sure you wouldn't have reacted to the panel either. The issue was that the panel was drawn by a manga artist who supports Kyoke instead of being neutral. We also know what K fans are trying to do. That is actually ridiculous. The problem is that fans see the manga artist as a huge Kyoke fan who is clearly trying to push them into the spotlight. If the artist were unbiased, this drawing wouldn't have received so much backlash. This is simply a reflection of the built-up frustration towards the manga artist. So, yeah, that is actually ridiculous. You know, this is the worst complaints I've ever seen so far for this series. Keep commissioning more kids in fan art going forward. Meanwhile, Kamada's supporters will just watch her draw increasingly inappropriate intimate scenes between Sudo and Suzune. Her problematic works are not worth viewing at all. So yeah. Why should we follow a manga artist who clearly shows their bias? It's perfectly normal for fans to feel skeptical about their drawings. That is actually beyond retarded because, yeah, we also have a lot of this. So you can read it yourself. I don't want to, like, read it myself already because, yeah, I've seen it. And then this. This is the one that I saw and it got me actually pissed off. Komada is far from innocent, the artist, mangaka artist, for getting backlash. If she genuinely liked Sudo and Suzune, she could have just shipped them in private instead. She actually put it in the official manga with a plot that completely ruins their characters. Once again, another ridiculous take. This is pretty much in character, alright? It's like basically saying, Kyoke broke up in the later volume, so why add much more intimate scenes in the anime and manga? You have to follow the novel. No, you're saying that you have to follow the future of the novel, the future of the original source. That is seriously retarded. Alright? You're following the original source, right? What happened during that time, alright? And also, during that time, obviously Sudo's character is still like that. He's still a man who actually likes Suzune. Onodera obviously likes Sudo in volume 6 of year 2, right? We all know that. That's why I started to, change ships. At first I was Sudo Suzune. I thought they would work, but now I feel like Onodera and Sudo will work. Obviously, during that time, Sudo and Suzune are still, really cute. The ship is cute. And I support it, it's very wholesome. But obviously, we all know in the future novel, in the future volumes of the novel, that we all know that Suzune actually started to doubt her own feelings and started to think that she actually likes Ayanokouji. She has feelings towards Ayanokouji, but it's too late. Yeah, that is actually ridiculous to say because if you're saying that it ruins their characters because in the future plot development of the series, they're no longer gonna be relevant in the series. The ship is no longer gonna be relevant. What you don't know is that during this moment, they are still relevant. The ship is still relevant, as you've seen in the manga and anime and novel. Sudo protected Suzune when Hosen was getting violent. Alright? You guys remember? Obviously, it was so recent in season 4. Hosen was extremely violent towards a girl, Suzune. Alright? And she also got bitch slapped by Hosen in the manga and light novel. But in the anime, they made her actually fight back, which is actually a really, really good change for me. Honestly, as someone who actually loves Suzune, I actually support that change, These fans won't like it, the Suzune haters won't like it because, oh, they made her strong, yada yada. You see, I'm not taking sides. I'm actually neutral in this situation. These extremists of Suzune fans are actually retarded. If the original author, Kinugasa Sensei, actually supported the Sudo-Suzune pairing, he wouldn't have had Suzune reject Sudo, nor would he have written Onodera to like him. Yeah, but during that time, you have to remember they are relevant. They are, a wholesome ship. We actually started to support Sudo that, to go for Suzune because during that time we have Kiyotaka, Ayanokouji, and Kei Kurizawa, right? Not most of the fans are shipping other girls to Ayanokouji, right? Even though some of them are still doing it, still it died down because we have an official ship. We have an official couple, Ayanokouji and Kei. During that time, Sudo and Suzune are still relevant because Sudo actually simps for Suzune. He defends her, acts like a man around her, obviously, because you have to show your cool side. Sudo is showing his manly cool side towards Suzune. And you guys remember, his development is that when Ayanokouji asked, alright, Sudo, that what if she rejects you? Sudo responded really, really well. Of course, he's gonna be heartbroken. He's gonna be sad. But he won't give up on studying. Because Suzune wouldn't like that either. That's how manly he is, alright? We can daydream all we want. We can fantasize all we want about our crushes, alright? That's normal. That's completely normal. It's very tame, alright? Especially that kind of wholesomeness with Sudo just being with Suzune on a date on the beach swimming pool because it's summer during that time. That's wholesome. That is so normal. It's not even that erotic. It's just Suzune in a bikini. What? If the author saw this, he wouldn't have approved it, obviously. And it wouldn't be released. But the author actually likes it. Approved of it. Anime is the same. The author is supervising the anime production. Alright? He has that right. He has that power when it comes to adaptation. Alright? Some authors actually cannot say anything because of how good the adaptation is. Because they also don't know how it works. They also don't know how this line of work actually does or how it actually works. Because your line of work is to write. Alright? It's not to actually animate. It's not to draw. That's why, if you guys remember, Kinugasa Sensei mentioned, alright, the author of Clash of the Elite mentioned that he is so happy that his series is getting a manga and getting an anime. You know why? Because he actually wanted to be a mangaka, but he has no talent when it comes to drawing. That's why he is so happy that it is turning into a manga. He can see and flip through the pages with the visuals. And he is so happy that his work is getting an anime adaptation because he is seeing his characters, his written characters, the ones he wrote in the novel, on screen. Hear them with the sounds, with the voice acting, and visually see them. If you are supporting the author, you can read the reports, news article, and afterward of Kinugasa Sensei, you can actually see that he actually loves all types of medium for obvious reasons because he is a writer, alright? He has no talent when it comes to drawings, and he has no talent when it comes to animating, alright? He is such a very respectable and humble guy that I actually, want to support his next work. That's how much I want to support this author, alright? And when it comes to the mangaka, if there is an official English translation of the manga, I would actually buy it. I would actually buy the Year 2 manga made by Komada Hachi. Alright? Even the original one. The original Year 2 manga. I would buy it. Because it's that good. I'm actually really, really impressed by its drawings. It's very, very pretty. And I must say, I support, the changes. Obviously, you have to have your own creativity because it's an adaptation. These extremists, these so-called light novel readers, the LARPers, that says always, every time, that light novel is superior, are beyond retarded. Because if you want an adaptation that's full-on one-to-one, what is the point of the adaptation? If the artist or artists behind the work, the adaptation work, can't even do shit with their own creativity. When it comes to the fight scenes, alright, and when it came to the chess match as well, in the anime. Kinogasa Sensei can't actually write the fights and chess match in detail, like full detail, the way it's choreographed. It's so vague at times. Like, it's so hard to visualize it unless you have a mind that says, oh, it does that. You choreograph it on your own, the way it was described. The author also mentions jujutsu style, karate style, yada yada. But obviously, sometimes the author can't actually do it, can't choreograph it well. That's why animators do their thing. Mangaka artists do their thing. They research and they hire choreographers. I'd also like to add that these deranged fans just want a full-on one-to-one copy-paste adaptation with no originality or creativity towards the adaptation. It's gonna be boring. I mean, I've set an example and my friend actually didn't like it. Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. He was actually complaining about the first few episodes being bland in direction, just following the manga one-to-one. There's no creativity, no originality, just following the manga panels, color it, animate it, voice act it, that's it. No originality. That's why my friend complained about the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity's anime adaptation. But then as soon as the Subaru episode came in, it became really good, especially with its directions and boards. You can actually see that as an example, but obviously these light novel supremacists won't agree. They're ruining stuff, yada yada. So yeah, I do hope this series gets an adaptation that actually ruins the series.
Whoa.
This is why I actually hate the light novel supremacists here. I love the light novel. To me, if you want to have a full experience of Ayanokouji's mind, go read the light novel, obviously, for his own narration. If you want to see it unfold visually, hear them as well, and some of Ayanokouji's inner monologues, go ahead and watch the anime. Now, when it comes to the manga, same thing. There are some differences between the light novel and anime, because the manga actually draws something original as well, and they visualize what's in the novel. Same thing in the anime, but in the anime it's much harder because of the fact that they animate it, they color it, they voice act, they put sound designs, etc. They have their own unique style. They have their own different takes of the adaptation. That's how adaptations work. This is why I really hate these light novel supremacists. And I can't believe that we've reached this far. We've reached this level of backlash of Flash with Elite. Our own community is destroying this series. And I hate it for it. Because you're self-sabotaging the series that you love so dearly. You're hating on the series that you love so dearly. You have to think about that. Self-reflect. You have to self-reflect on yourself. That you are actually sabotaging, destroying the series that you so love, and you're saying that, oh, I'm saving it. No, you are destroying it. You're killing it. That's what you're doing. Instead of supporting it, you are killing it. That's what you're doing. I'm pissed off right now. That's how much I really hate this fandom. I hate this Clash with the Elite fandom. I'm not saying every single one of Clash with the Elite fandom is like this, but I'm saying these retarded fans and edgy teenagers cannot stop with the hate. Haters will always be there. And I don't want to go to the level of Gachiakuta. This is why I actually love that the author doesn't have social medias and don't interact with the fans. Please stay anonymous, because right now the mangaka is catching strays, getting attacked because of something that she created, not in the novel, not faithful in the novel, even though it's in character. That's why I'm actually so pissed off right now. I'm sorry that I'm actually letting out all my frustrations and all the negativities about this series, because holy shit, I can't believe that we've reached this far for Clash of the Elite. You know, the anime hate is tolerable for me because right now, for obvious reasons, we all know the hate surrounding the anime because they're not mature enough to distinct and, differentiate the differences between the anime, the different types of mediums of anime and light novel. You cannot see the visuals of the light novel. You can only read the thoughts. That's why it has its ups and downs. You visualize it on your own through Ayanokouji's narration. Sometimes he's actually vague in detailing things. And sometimes he is actually misleading us when reading his thoughts. The way that the light novel readers are saying that, oh, Ayanokouji is not emotionless, bro. He literally said it in the novel. Go read it again. Because I've reread this. Because if you take a look at page 40 in volume 4, physical copy, literally here, you can read it by yourself, alright? Look at here, alright? Pause it. Now, let me read it out to you. Personally, I could put on an act and pretend to be someone else for a brief period of time, but it was difficult to break free of my naturally emotionless state. Emotionless state. It was difficult to break free of my naturally emotionless state. So he admitted that it's hard for him to actually be normal in society surrounding him. It was a habit I'd had for much of my life. Fucking idiots. That's why Kinugasa Sensei, I'm really right now I actually do have to apologize to Kinugasa Sensei and the mangaka artist Komada Hachi Sensei. I'm really sorry that you receive these kinds of fans right now. Don't worry about them. They are just vocal minority. They are so loud, but you have to realize that these loud minorities are actually just a small portion of the fandom, all right? And there are actual real true fans and really really supportive fans who actually supports you, truly appreciates your work. And even though we criticize your work at times, even I criticize the work at times, still, I'm really thankful to actually read and watch Classroom of the Elite. All different types of mediums. The anime, the manga, and the light novel. I'm really thankful because this actually built my channel from scratch. And I've reached a certain level of the community, even though I still get the negativity, the pessimists, the extremists, the haters of the series. It doesn't matter. I'm not really paying them much attention because as much as I can, I want to actually reach out to the people and actually spread positivity towards this series because right now it's actually doing really really well, even though we still have complainers. But don't mind them, they're just vocal minority, like I said. Because I don't know if this will reach you, author Kinugasa Sensei and Komada Hachi Sensei. As well as Tomasi Sensei. Let's go with Tomasi Shinsuke Sensei as well. But I don't know if this will reach you or the animators will reach this video. But yeah, stay strong and please still stay. Mangaka artist Komada Hachi Sensei, please stay because I actually love your artwork and I actually want to buy the manga. Because originally I wasn't really a huge fan of Year One manga. I said it many times. I'm not a huge fan of its adaptation, but hey, it has its quirk and creativity. Very creative when it comes to making these characters actually very lively and very comedic. So different approach of the series. Still, I actually really love the balance of this series of the manga adaptation. So I really do appreciate your work, Komada Hachi Sensei. And don't worry about these extremists. Even if they comment, don't read them or don't take it to heart because it'll affect your work and it'll affect you mentally. Because I've been there and even my mom knows it. So. And even my friend knows it. My friends know it. So just treat them as a tool. Sorry, I had to make that joke. But anyway, even if you are a striving author, a striving mangaka artist, as someone who will actually make their own work and as someone who is actually going to write a novel and make it into our own animation project as well, a director, please don't get swayed. Don't cater to these fans and make your own work. All right, because I don't want this community or this series to reach the level of Gachi Yakuta. What happened to Kei Urana Sensei, the author of Gachi Yakuta? Yeah, I don't want to reach that level, and because we are definitely kind of reaching that, because the mangaka actually saw and was aware of the hate surrounding her manga adaptation, and yeah, I'm really sorry about that on behalf of the code community. Even though I'm not supposed to do this, I truly do apologize. But even so, thank you very much for your hard work, Kinugasa Sensei, Tomasa Shinsuke Sensei, Komada Hashi Sensei, and as well as the animators behind Classroom of the Elite. I really do appreciate your works, and yeah, I don't know if this will reach them, but you know, I want them to know, at the very least, even though it won't reach them, I want them to know that this isn't a big deal. All right, this isn't a big deal. As long as you actually enjoy it, that's all that matters. All right, don't cater to the fans, because this is your work. Don't get swayed by these fans. It's your work. Don't let it affect you. Because I've been there as a filmmaker. My panelists, judges have said that to me, but I didn't listen to them, and I won an award. So yeah, a special jury award, mind you. So yeah, I didn't listen to my professor. I didn't listen to my judge, and it still won. So yeah, like I said, don't listen to them, because at the end of the day, this is subjective. Art is subjective. All right, hard work pays off, and I'm seeing that from everyone involved in this series. So yeah. Anyway, that is it for this video. As someone who's been supporting this series ever since, look at this. Oh my days. But I want to collect the manga as well. Like, I want to actually show my support for this series, for my beloved series, now that it's close to an end. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for the negativity, and sorry for the rant. I had to, you know. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Don't pay attention to these deranged fans, because I'm no longer paying attention to them. I just had to bring it up so that you guys are aware that it has reached the mangaka. I had to make a video. If it didn't reach the mangaka or the author, I wouldn't have done this video. I'd just like to remind you that it already happened. The self-sabotage of Gachi Yakuta, I won't let it happen to Clash of the Elite. If you're a true fan and someone who actually loves the series, you'll know that it's our own selves to protect this series, and obviously the author's mental state, the mangaka's mental state. So yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.